A couple of months ago, this person was managing in the Youth League of Italian football. Now, he's fighting to keep this team above the relegation zone in Serie A. Do you think he will succeed? To find the answer, we need to dive deeper. Born in Reșița, Romania, Cristian Chivu followed on his father's footsteps and began his career at the local club CSM Reșița. Mircea Chivu, Cristian's father, is a local legend and an idol at the club. The stadium is named after him to honor all that he did for the club. Cristian Chivu debuted in 1997 and played 24 games for the club in the 1997-1998 season. As a position, he is well known for being a left back, but he played in multiple positions, especially as a youngster. As he put it in a recent interview, the only position he hasn't played as is the goalkeeper one. But if any of his managers would have asked him to do it, he would have done it. This versatility helped him throughout his career, being pivotal later on down the road. His reputation began to grow at CSM Reșița, and in 1998, Universitatea Craiova, a big club in Romanian football and a favorite of Chivu's, was interested in signing him, where he played one season, earning 32 appearances before moving to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, Ajax Amsterdam. At Ajax, Cristian Chivu struggled to fit in at first, having to live in a hotel room in the first months at the club. But, as he said in the interview cited earlier, the move to the Dutch club helped him a lot. In Romania, the footballing culture was to follow the instructions the coach gave you. At Ajax, as Chivu described, the coaches discussed the instructions and the tactical decisions with the players. Besides being a big change for him, it also helped to develop his tactical awareness and increased his responsibilities on the pitch. In time, Chivu became captain and led a dressing room made of players like Rafael van der Vaart, Wesley Sneijder, Johnny Heitinga and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The club dominated Dutch football at that time and came very close to qualifying to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals in the 2002-2003 season. And thanks to his brilliant performance, Cristian Chivu was on the move again in 2003, as AS Roma decided to transfer him in. But, the same way as Ajax was the footballing culture shock for him, the same was the Italian football philosophy. As he mentioned, he moved as he wanted a new challenge. However, he did not imagine, at the time, the level of dedication and physicality the training sessions would require. In time, this helped him to become stronger, and together with the tactical knowledge he earned throughout the matches, Cristian Chivu became a world-class player. It was around this time when I became more aware of him as a player and started following his and AS Roma's games. And at that time, AS Roma was a team that competed for all the trophies that were out there in Italy and in Europe. However, all that being said, Cristian Chivu left Roma winning only one trophy, the Coppa Italia, in the 2006-2007 season. As he mentioned in the recent interview, his contract was up at the end of that season. He thought that Roma were going to offer him a new contract at the end of the season, but as that did not happen, Chivu went and informed the board that he would leave, but only to Internazionale Milano. The club disregarded his wish and sold him to Real Madrid. Thus, he refused to sign with the Spanish club. Eventually, he got what he wanted and signed for Inter Milan, a move that made the Roma fans hate him. In his first season at Inter Milan, Chivu and the team won the Serie A title. In the 2009-2010 season, Chivu suffered a horrible head injury and was thought that he would miss the rest of the season. But, after a successful surgery and wearing a head guard, he returned to the pitch just in time for the most important period in the club's modern history. In a battle fought by two brilliant managers, the players' will and beliefs made the difference. And on 28th of April 2010, the Inter Milan players had the best game of their careers, defending a slender lead against Lionel Messi and FC Barcelona. The match was fought by both sides, and the tie was eventually won by Jose Mourinho and Inter Milan, sending them to the UEFA Champions League final. And the following couple of weeks brought the club the treble, the Serie A title, the Coppa d'Italia, and most importantly, the UEFA Champions League trophy. Inter became the sixth European club to complete a treble and the first and only Italian club to achieve this feat to date. Besides club career, Cristian Chivu had an illustrious international career also, playing for Romania. He debuted during the golden era of Romanian football, even being Gheorghe Hagi's roommate. He scored against England, and after the golden generation retired, he led the Romanian national team. Although no major international trophies were won, Chivu's and Mutu's generation bridged the gap between the golden team and the current one, inspiring young players to want more. After he retired, Chivu took a break from football, but the lure was too powerful. So he came back, going through the coaching badges levels and graduating as a manager. he started managing youth teams at Inter Milan from the U14s to the Primavera team. And this spring, he took over Parma, his first senior managerial role. Before he joined the club, Parma were fighting against the relegation and probably still are. But Parma had to fight more than the relegation from Serie A in its history. The club was founded in July 1913 as Verdi Football Club in honor of the centenary of famous opera composer Giuseppe Verdi, who was born in the province of Parma. In December of the same year, Parma Football Club was formed from many of the original club's players and began wearing white shirts emblazoned with the black cross. After the end of World War I, Parma began playing football properly in the 1919-1920 season. They became a founding member of Serie B after finishing as runners-up in the Primera Divisione in the 1928-29 season, and the club would remain in that league for 3 seasons before being relegated and changing its name to Associazione Sportiva Parma in 1930. With the relegation came the founding of Serie C, the third level of Italian football. Unfortunately for them, the club spent more than a decade in Serie C as they got promoted to Serie B in 1943. The Second World War brought the Italian football competitions to a halt as it intensified, although Parma did make an appearance in the Campionato Alta Italia in 1944. The club was again relegated to Serie C in the 1948-49 season, but after 5 seasons they got promoted back to Serie B. This was a time when the players were working or were studying besides playing football for the club. This, plus other sports becoming popular in the region, proved unhelpful for the football club. Disaster struck in 1966 when Parma suffered the second successive relegation, ending up in Serie D, the fourth level of Italian football. In 1968, the club was ordered into liquidation and changed its name to Parma Football Club. Another local club, Associazione Calcio Parmense, took over the license of the 1913 founded club. That brought with it a change of luck in both financial and sporting terms, as the side was crowned Serie D champions and spent 3 years in Serie C before promotion to Serie B. But it did not last long. The team was relegated back to Serie C in its second season in the division. A return to Serie B did not come about until the end of the 1970s, and the club again lasted only 1 season in the second division of Italian football. I mean, at this point, is this the ultimate yo-yo club? Under the management of the great Cesare Maldini, Parma once again returned to Serie B in 1984. Funny enough, Stefano Pioli scored the only goal of the promotion final against Sanremo. And, you guessed it, the club spent only 1 season in Serie B, returning quickly to Serie C. But this prompted the so-called Arrigo Sacchi to lead the club to another promotion to Serie B in 1986. The side enjoyed success that season and missed out on promotion to Italy's top tier by just 3 points, and they even eliminated AC Milan in the Coppa Italia, a result that convinced owner Silvio Berlusconi to hire Sacchi as the new manager of AC Milan. And finally, in 1990, the curse was broken. The tie of the yo-yo snapped. The ghosts were... Sorry, I got carried away. Nevio Scala, the new manager of the club, helped Parma achieve promotion to Serie A after a 2-0 win over Reggiana. Investment from parent company Parmalat helped to improve the team's fortunes, and the club made its debut in the UEFA competitions in 1991. Nevio Scala proved to be a lucky token for the club, leading them to winning Coppa Italia in 1991-92 against Juventus. The following season, the club won its first international trophy, the Cup Winners' Cup against Anvers, 3-1. The next season, the club won the UEFA Super Cup against AC Milan but lost the Cup Winners' Cup against Arsenal. Nevio Scala's final success with Parma was in another 2-legged final against Juventus, in which Dino Baggio scored twice to give Parma a 2-1 aggregate win. But Juventus had their revenge in the Coppa Italia final. Replaced by Carlo Ancelotti, Scala departed in 1996 and was a popular manager because of the trophies he won and the attractive playing style the club expressed. Carlo Ancelotti overhauled the team and guided them to an historic second place in Serie A in 1997. The team also made its debut in the UEFA Champions League that season. However, the culmination of everything that was won by them came thanks to Alberto Malesani's leadership, the team winning the UEFA Cup in 1998 against Marseille and the Coppa Italia against Fiorentina, making it a double. But a bad streak of missed replacements after the club sold their best players led to what can only be described as an abrupt ending. The club sponsor, Parmalat, went through its own ordeal and eventual bankruptcy, which prompted Parma to struggle more and more. Following the financial meltdown of Parmalat, Parma was declared insolvent and was put under special administration for 3 years. In 2007, Tommaso Ghirardi bought the club out of administration and became the owner of the club and the president. Manager Claudio Ranieri helped the team avoid the relegation to Serie B on the final day of the 2006-2007 season, following his February appointment. However, the danger was still lurking, as under a succession of new managers, Parma faced the relegation to Serie B after 18 years. Someone stitched the yo-yo back. Roberto Donadoni took over the club managerial duties after Franco Colomba left and led the club to European qualification. Or did he? In 2014, the club qualified for the UEFA Europa League but was barred from competing due to licensing issues prompted by late payment of income tax on salaries. The team faced points deductions also for the following season. Financial turmoil ensued, and the club went through another bankruptcy in March 2015 with total liabilities of 218 million euros, including 63 million euros in unpaid salaries. The administrators were forced to put some of the trophies to sell in an auction in a desperate attempt to raise money to cover the debt. The refounded club, SSD Parma Calcio 1913, was formed in July 2015, taking its name from the year of foundation of the predecessor club and securing a place in the 2015-2016 Serie D season representing Parma. After a series of promotions and relegations, the team settled in Serie B. Fabio Pecchia took over the club and got them promoted to Serie A in the 2023-2024 season. However, after poor results this season, Fabio Pecchia was dismissed and Cristian Chivu entered the stage, debuting as senior manager. It's hard to pinpoint a single tactical setup preferred by Cristian Chivu, and he did not make it easier by changing formations at the beginning of his reign. In his defense, being a new manager is quite understandable. I noticed that in recent matches he used the 3-5-2 formation, and so I focused on recreating this one, choosing a sweeper keeper on defend duty in goal. The back three are two central defenders, one on defend and one on cover, and a wide center back on defend duty. The wingbacks are two wingbacks on support, and I did not want them to go off the pitch relentlessly like they would do on attack duty. I prefer them to be on support duty and go up the pitch in the rhythm of play. The defensive midfielder is a halfback. However, this is more of a personal preference. If you want a more mobile role, you can use a defensive midfielder or a ball-winning midfielder on defend. Simon Zom seems to be a balanced player in terms of attributes, so all three roles suit him in my opinion. For the two center midfielders, I opted for a favorite duo, center midfielder on support and a box-to-box midfielder. I'm not sure if these two roles fit Chivu's playing style idea, but in the game, they provide flexibility in possession, giving multiple passing options around the opposition's box, especially with the box-to-box midfielder. Take more risks and get further forward for the center midfielder role. And the front three are a pressing forward on attack and a deep line forward on support. Here, you have freedom to choose which roles you prefer or think would work best. An advanced forward would do the job paired with a pressing forward. The idea is to have a pair that would drive forward and try to score as much as possible, as this is not a team that creates lots of chances. I chose positive mentality. In possession, fairly wide attacking width, shorter passing diagonals, and a slightly higher tempo, and play for set pieces. In transition, counter press, counter, and distribute the ball quickly. Counter press is not a must. It's just that the game applies the pressing better with this option ticked on. And out of possession, a mid block and a standard defensive line. Trigger press more often and get stuck in. I noticed that Cristian Chivu tries to win the midfield battle as much as possible, which also prompts the counter-attack play. I simulated only one season using this tactic and the team did well, considering the circumstances. However, I think this tactic would work in a more controlled environment in a save that is played rather than simulated. Watching Chivu play and listening to his recent interview, I got a glimpse of how he sees and understands football. And for this reason, I hope he's going to do well in his career, as football needs managers like him.